Hello, everyone. I'm Gary Summers, and welcome to the audio edition of Mind, Body, Soul about your mental, physical, and spiritual wellness. I'm here with Kathy Breen, who's going to talk about how she helps people become healthy through things including movement. So welcome, Kathy Breen.
Oh, thank you, Gary. Great to be here.
And thanks for taking.
Great to be part of this project. It's a well-needed venture.
Yes, this is going to be big, and I hope more people like yourself take the time to educate people as to what you do and how you can help people. So, before we get into this, Kathy, can you just give our listeners just some brief summary as to what they can expect to hear from you today?
Well, I'm going to just talk about how I feel movement is critical to your life, and how everybody can find something that can make them, get active and be healthier.
And when you listen to all of the ads, all of the things on TV, most people, doctors, health educators, which you are one, say to people, you have to move.
Yes.
Even recovering from an injury, you can just, even if you have arthritis, just to be able to get up and just move is important, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, let's just think about it. Like, let's consider your day. What do you do the first thing when you wake up? You get up out of bed.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
You get up out of bed.
Yes,
so you
exactly.
Move. You might stretch. Right?
I was going to say, yeah, yes, absolutely. Right. So that's just the act of getting out of bed is movement, correct?
Yeah, exactly. You go to the washroom.
Right.
You squash.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
You open up the fridge to get your coffee or whatever juice, so that's a push-pull action. So, I mean, it's you do it all throughout your day in some form or another. So you got to find out what works for your body.
And that's
what your body needs to live a functional and, purposeful life.
And that's really, you made a really good point there. What works for you? Sometimes we see these buff people on TV and in the fitness competitions and marathon runners, and people sit back and think, I could never be like them, but they don't have to, do they?
No, well, I think, that's something, the way the industry is viewed and branded, in some way implies that we have to, even the words like feel the burn, no pain, no gain, push harder, just do 4 more.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the proper message. I like the idea of no pain, all gain.
Yeah.
You actually, when you feel pain, I mean, that's a way that your body's communicating with you that something's not right. So we should listen to that and just, work with it within your means, and gradually you will get better. And, if you want to perform and run a marathon or whatever those goals are, it's a gradual progress. So instead of pushing through something, possibly leading to an injury, like you mentioned, you just got to be knowledgeable and just let it be that way. Go as far as you can today. And some days you may have more energy than others, depending on what's going on in your life and whatnot. So, I don't like this competition stuff. You just work with your body. And I mean, it's an intelligent machine that will tell you what it wants. It's just, we don't always listen to it.
I guess the best advice, and what I'm hearing from you, is the only competition you read to be against is yourself, right? You want to be the best, best yourself can be. So, Kathy, just tell our listeners, just give us an idea of who you are and what you do.
Well, I own a small boutique mindful movement studio in Paradise. It's called Studio 103. And I've been in the fitness industry for, probably 25 years, over 25 years, actually. I started in the, when I was younger, and I did all the high impact aerobics and step at, high beats per minute, and the cycling and the kickboxing and everything like that. And, that was a lot of fun when I was younger, and I was, I had the energy and the metabolism to do it at that time. Then I really got interested in the body. So I became a personal trainer, learning more about the anatomy. And then I really got interested into the mind-body connection of it all. So I went on and got certified in Pilates and yoga. And more recently, I've become a fully certified Eccentrics teacher. So I always want to, learn more about how the body, it's an amazing, it's amazing what our body can teach us and we can teach it.
And it's very adaptable as well, right?
Absolutely.
You talked
and
about.
I think movement is good for that. I mean, especially over the last couple of years, just being able to move, and it creates resilience in your body too. You handle the good and the bad.
You talked about some of the things, Pilates and yoga, and the last one you mentioned was aesthetics?
Eccentrics.
Eccentrics. Can you explain what that is?
Well, it's actually, as I mentioned, I had a lot of experience in the fitness world, and I go to a conference every year in Toronto, and attended this session called Eccentrics when we used to do them live. And it was all about moving to where your body feels something and then relaxing. And it's almost like getting the neurotransmitters firing in your body to let you know that this is okay. Instead of like I said, feel the burn, push harder. Well, that's when you're going to injure yourself. And then your body's going to say, oh, I'm not going there anymore. That wasn't right.
And you see the people, I teach cycling at Good Life, and you see the people coming in and they push themselves, and then you don't see them for another month or two because they're hurt.
Exactly. So the thing, this is what it was. It was all about like reaching somewhere. When you start to feel it, you release it, and then you reach a little bit more, and like it really fires into the neurotransmitters to let your body know that, oh, okay, this didn't feel so bad. I was here before and it felt okay. I can go a little bit more, instead of, like you said, just pushing harder. And then your body's saying, oh, I didn't like that. I'm not going there anymore.
I know that.
And so I said to the lady, Miranda Esmond White designed it, and this program. I said, this is what's missing in the fitness world. It's all about, go harder, push harder. It's like really just connecting with your body and letting it, lead you.
And of course, as we get older, we don't recover from injury as quickly as when we were younger. So we have to be very mindful of, getting to that point where, you have to take 3 or 4 or 6 months off. And it's really, depending on your motivation, what your goals are, there's really no need to go to that level to just feel good. Yes,
exactly. Yeah. So, I know like a lot of people are into, running and stuff like that. And, if that's what, is good for you, that's fine. But there are, sometimes there'll be days that your body is probably not wanting to do that for whatever reason, maybe because of what you were doing. You had a bad night's sleep or whatever. And we don't tune into our bodies and listen to it. Yeah. We communicate well with people and different, but we don't let our body and us communicate together, because, it'll tell you what it wants.
Yes. And the title is Move Well, Be Healthy. Can you just explain what you mean by that?
Well, what I mean by it is, like, as I mentioned, we move every day anyway, just, to get through our day. So we just need to, our body's created to move, and it knows what it wants and needs. So we just need to honor it and tune into ourselves and just find a program that is good for us and our body. It's like a diet, not one is good for everyone. You got to kind of find out which one suits your metabolism and environment and lifestyle and stuff like that. So everybody can find some form of movement that they can enjoy, because that's a big part of it. You got to enjoy it too and have some fun with it.
See, I interviewed Elaine Dunphy, who teaches Nia Dance.
Yes, that's a nice program too.
Yeah. And Elaine said during the interview, she said, if you can't find something to do here in the province, you're not looking hard enough.
Oh, absolutely. And this is it. There's all kinds of it out there. So you do have to find something that you enjoy, because obviously, and the thing is, when you move well, and people are busy these days. I guess with COVID the last couple of years, that's one of the hopefully silver linings of it. People have slowed down a little. Yeah. But we'll probably get back to our busy lives again. So by educating your body to be more effective, well, then you can get more benefits, and be more efficient with your workouts, and you'll have, you'll get that the double benefit. So, you're doing it well and you're doing it quickly, or, not so much like not so much moving quickly, but, just, some days it might be just a little shoulder roll and a little stretch and stuff like that. And other days it might be going out for a little run.
Sure. So we know many, many years ago, and people thought that there was no real connection between the mind and the body. Now, of course, we know different, and we know there is a huge connection
Yes,
between
it's
the
really
mind.
coming forefront now.
Yeah. So comment on, or how can movement help with mental health? We all know that, exercise increases endorphins, those neurotransmitters that make you feel good. Just can you just expound on that a little bit more for the listeners?
Well, basically, I feel it should be the prescription that's needed. Like I think, like you said, there's a ton of research that shows movement and, creates the endorphins, lifts your mood, it gives you more energy, reduces stress, reprograms, activates the neurotransmitters, all that kind of stuff. And we know all about it, but we also have to find out what's right for us. So, and there's also that social connection that's important with it too. So most of the time, if you do some movement, you're either like in a running group or go to, do group fitness, cycling classes, like you mentioned. So, you meet with like-minded people and you see people are in the same situation as you. So that will help, that you'll know that you're not alone, kind of thing.
Go ahead, sorry.
And, you just start where you're at and you gradually improve your movement. So I think that's where, I think that's where we need to change, is like, oh, I got to do this and I got to do, 10 or 12, or you got to do, but you just do what your body feels comfortable with today. And those little movements will make such a big difference in your outlook.
There was two things you mentioned that were really important, Kathy, and I want to re-emphasize those.
Oh, absolutely.
The first one is being with like-minded people who support what you're doing, people who want to encourage you to keep on doing what you're doing. That's one thing. But the other thing that's even more important to that, they did a longevity study a number of years ago, and they followed, I don't know, it was like 300,000 people over 30 to 40 years. It was a long study.
Oh, so it was a good study.
And the results that came back, there were 10 factors that contributed to longevity. Now, the obvious ones were obviously diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, high cholesterol. Those were but they weren't the top two. The top two things, and I want people just really to listen, because this really focuses on what you were just talking about.
Yeah.
One is not so much, because it's a healthy, loving relationship, but the number one and two, and one of these was one and one of these was two, I can't remember, but the other one was social interaction.
Yeah.
We need to keep in touch with our friends. We need to be around people who enjoy our company, who support what we do. And those are the two things that contribute to longevity more than any of the other physical things.
Absolutely. Well, have you ever heard the blue zones?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, there's 5 areas that, like, and I'm surprised that Newfoundland's not in here, because there's a ton of people that live to be 100 here. But there's 5 areas in the world, and that centenarians are, there's a lot of people who live to be over 100.
And if you don't live to be over 100, you're doing something wrong in that place, right?
Yeah, and they're all, and when they looked at their diets, like one is in Italy. So they were eating the breads and there's all kinds. One place was, no meat and stuff like that. Anyway, but like they all had different diets. Some of them ate pork. But getting back to your point, when they dug deep down, the one common variable was social connection.
Yeah, there you go. See?
So it's vital.
That's it.
Yeah.
So if we know, I'm sorry, were you going to say something?
No, I said it's just vital. Yeah. And I mean, like, as far as movement and stuff goes, I know, like, personally, my mother's like 92 years old. This was a few years ago. My dad passed away. And I mean, Mom, her therapy was walking. I mean, back in those days, we didn't have the pedometers where you'd measure your steps or whatever, but I'm sure mom walked across Newfoundland and back.
Yeah.
And that was just how she dealt with it, you know? And I just find myself, like, if things aren't working out the way I would like them to go, especially like over the last couple of years, getting back to my studio. I mean, I decided this is what I wanted to do because I've been in the group in, fitness industry for a long time. And I wanted to kind of, get a little bit more focused on the connection of your body and your mind and stuff. Yeah. And so I got this place and, a few delays, going to open it January of 2020. Yeah. Well, then, of course, snow again came along.
Yeah.
And then, got back on track with that. And then, okay, the middle of March is going to be the grand opening.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's COVID.
Yeah.
So, I just found, did I walk a few miles?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was great for just, clearing your head, like walking and stuff, or just, getting out and doing some exercise. And, it's great for your body and your mind. It's just, and you know what? And I think one of the things we've realized with COVID, because of the gyms were closed down and that, we know it's so important, but I don't think as a society, people realize how important, fitness is.
So that's okay. So that's my final question before we close up. And this is $1 billion question.
Absolutely.
If you can answer this, then you're worth gold. If there's so much research out there, and the benefits and eat well, move well, everything. I don't think anybody could come up with any contrary arguments to moving. So why is it so many people are inactive? Why is the obesity problem such a problem here?
Well, because it actually takes effort. I mean, I remember we're teaching when I was up, I lived in Ontario for a few years, teaching up in Ontario and at a recreation center. And we get our schedule every, quarter or whatever of the classes we were teaching. And at the bottom, one time it said, if we could put the benefits of fitness in a pill, we'd all be millionaires.
Yeah.
Because you can just pop a pill, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have to make an effort, but it is actually making an effort. And we just got to educate people that making that effort is part of the process and it's good. I mean, I don't think there's very many people, again, doing it properly for your body on that day.
I think there's a couple of things that you said that I'd like to expound on. If you don't feel, and I always say this to people when I do speak at conventions and businesses, if you don't feel right, then there's something not in balance with you and you need to do something about it. And that may be movement. Yeah. The second thing is, you're right, it's easy not to. Yeah. But the point is, you have to make the decision that you want a better life for yourself. And I think people are just in a situation where that's all they know. They've never done anything, so they don't even know how to get started. So, I'm hoping.
let's just sit here now. I want you to just take a breath, Gary. Like, just take a breathe in, and breathe out. Now, most of us are very shallow breathers, but just try to deepen your breath a little bit. Just take a deep, and I mean, with my Pilates and yoga background, I mean, yes, there's about 8 or 10 or probably 15 different breath patterns, in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, sniff in, sniff out, sniff in, blow out, whatever. But, just deep breathing. And you got to feel better with that. The next thing I would say is just your posture. So just lengthen your spine, roll your shoulders back. Of course, that opens up your heart a little bit more. Now take your deep breath. This is all movement. And you got to feel better by doing that.
I'm so glad you came on, because some of the points.
And then now just stand up and do that.
Okay. Yeah.
Stand up and lengthen your spine and open your shoulders. Take a deep breath in.
There's a couple of things. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
How good is, that's just such a simple thing everybody can do. I mean, stand if you're able, but I mean, just the breathing and the posture. And it just makes, I mean, everybody feels lighter with it. And then gradually just start to move a little bit with that and adapt it. Like start with 2 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day. You don't have to, go to a 30-minute class or a 45 or an hour, Zumba class or whatever it is. Like just start slow, meet your body where it's at, and make that, great changes take time.
Yeah. And so the couple of things that you mentioned with the deep breathing, and the one big benefit of that is you get more oxygen into your lungs.
And you get rid of your you get good energy in and bad energy goes out. I mean,
exactly, right? That's the one thing.
That's a win-win.
The second thing was when you said, do your deep breathing and then sit up and do the same thing and then stand up. And I was watching a TED Talk one time, and this woman was on, and it was, I think she was a doctor or something, and before she started her talk, she said, now I'd like everybody to sit up, and then she said, none of you should have moved.
Exactly.
Because you should have been sitting up right from the very beginning. And what a teachable moment that was, where people were in their chairs, slouched down, probably shallow breathing, and right away the people's posture changed and they became alert and they became alive. And so it was just it was an aha moment for me that she actually just said that, right? It was incredible.
I actually do that in my class sometimes too, right? I'm saying, open up your chest, shoulders down, and move around. I said, roll those shoulders back. We didn't need to do anything, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, Kathy, we're out of time. Thank you very much. And I'm so pleased that you've decided to be part of this project, because we want to make this we want to make this as big as we possibly can.
I think it's vital right now, especially over the last couple of years. I mean, we haven't had that social interaction that is so critical in our lives. Yes, virtually and stuff, it all helps in that, but we need to get out and move, and we need to get out and meet people and just have a good life and enjoy it.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much. And we'll be in touch as we move forward.
Yes. Good. Thank you. Good luck.
And as I'm reminding listeners, all of Kathy's information is there in front of you as you're listening to her contact information, her bio, everything is there. So again, Kathy, thanks a lot, and we'll be in touch.
Perfect. Thank you. Take care. Have a good day.